What's good, my YouTube peeps? So, got all my parts that I needed to kind of do everything up here. As I told you guys in a previous video, I needed to move this stuff around. I just didn't like it how it ended up turning out, with this being here and that being there and the brake lever being here, yada yada yada. You know, just to make myself a little more comfortable for when I'm riding. So the plan was to switch all this out, but when you switch all this out, the problem is that this one's a problem. Oh no, not this one. Sorry, I was pointing at the wrong one. It's this one from GLE, and it's that it doesn't come in two pieces like their Sur Ron Eco and Sport mode freaking selector here. So you gotta literally slide this whole thing off. And I already got it plugged in way in there, and everything's like crammed up in there super nicely, so I don't want to mess with any of that. So in order to get this off, I will literally have to take off the handlebar and then kind of slide it on over that way while this slides over this way. So I figured I'd wait to do that for when we're doing this. So as you guys can see here, I've got the Pro Taper pillow top grips, which will go very nicely with the color scheme of Sur Ron. And then we got the fast flex bars. Figured I'd give these a try. I've got them on, what I got them on? I got them on my mountain bike and my Banshee, so we're gonna give them a try on the Sur Ron and see how it goes, and then probably end up putting them on this too. So been pretty big fan of these. They do help to dampen the ride quite a bit, especially when you're running the blue ones on the Banshee. I'm running the blue ones on the compression side, so they call this a compression side, and this side the rebound side. These will have the thicker ones, these will have the thinner ones, and they're super adjustable, so you could put, these are the soft ones, these are the medium compound, and these are the hard compound. So if you're the type of guy that likes more feeling in your bars and want a more stiffer bar, then you'd run these. And you can also, I think it's 2 to 5 threads can be showing is what you can adjust it to. So even the red ones, you can make them even stiffer, so that when you land hard, this entire thing is going to obviously compress, and that's why they call this a compression elastometer. So this will come down, compress this, and yeah, it takes a huge jarring bump that you may have gotten to your wrist, shoulder, elbows, whatever, upper body. So even these are adjustable because you can run them at like 2 threads showing, which would give it, it wouldn't be as compressed, so therefore you're not going to hit the harshest part of the elastometer right away. So if you're the type of guy that kind of likes stiff bars, but still want a little bit of flexibility, then you obviously don't want to run the red ones with it at like, you know, 5 thread showing or so. But like me on the Banshee, the reason why I went with the blue ones is because when you're doing a quad, like for me, I used to race for God knows 5-6 years or something, was doing got into Pro AM, and so for me, I don't really need to feel too much about what the tires are doing in the front. I mean, yes and no, but mostly I ride the Banshee out in the dunes, so it's nothing serious. So I want the softest freaking ride that I can have out there, and I run the blue ones out there at like 3 turns in, and it's beautiful. For this, we're gonna try out the red ones. I'm gonna back these out. Looks like they have it set on about 3 or so, so I'm gonna back it out 1 turn or so. Kind of don't want to run the yellow ones just because, dude, it's gonna ruin the color scheme. All it's gonna match is a freaking horn that doesn't work anymore. But whatever, we can even paint these suckers or something. I don't know. But yeah, we're gonna try these out first and see how they feel, and go through the levels. Maybe I'll even do a blue, tighten it up all the way to 5. That way we can see what that feels like on the Sur Ron. So anyways, bars, and then we got these from Warp 9 that are the bolts for the clamp in titanium, which will replace all the bolts that are here. And then, well, now that we're talking about the clamp, we got the clamp It's got the riser, and then it moves it forward as well. And then obviously the hand guards. Been whacking my hands on some weeds and bushes and stuff like that, so I figured, what the heck, try these out, see how they look. Worst comes to worst, they will kind of protect my nice freaking levers from an impact when you fall or something. And also I went with these because these attach to the bars right here rather than going on the end of the bar like a bar end, so that way I could still continue using my mirror in this configuration. So yeah, we got that. And then also when I was talking to the boys at Fast Flex, they told me that I was gonna need to buy some of these sleeves in order to be able to see. You can see it's a BMW bar sleeve in order to fit these bars, but I don't think they knew that I had the Warp 9 clamps. So yeah, you will definitely need those from what they said to fit it on here, but I'm gonna try to fit these with the sleeves that they do. The Warp 9 does include with this setup right here. So yeah, let's get to it. First thing we're gonna obviously do is start taking all this apart. Throttle probably won't even come off until I take these off and slide the bar over this way. Same thing with this, like I said, but some of you guys won't have that issue. It'll be a little less complex than all this shindig that I got going on. So anyways, yeah, gonna get to taking that off and slapping these bad boys on there. Boom, these little doinker things are off, everything's dangling. So now next thing I gotta figure out is how many spacers we're gonna need on this thing for up here, whether I cut well, I'm definitely gonna have to cut because I'm just taking essentially these many, if you want to call this like a spacer, off of here. And this new one's a direct mount, so it's gonna have nothing to do with here or take up any space here, but we still do have these, but we don't have an extra one of these. So maybe I can cut somewhere down here and then punch this out, reuse it, or see if one of the local bicycle stores has one. Completely forgot about that, because we need to cinch that whole thing down. So let's see. I'm gonna throw these on and see what we're working with. All right, so those suckers are prematurely on. Now you guys see that space right there that we got right there? Well, came up with a quick little solution. I like what's going on there. I like the height. I like the look of that. So what I'm gonna do to cover up the rest of that space there, and leave this freaking ding dong thing, is this right here. And they're gonna be here tomorrow. I'm not gonna have a chance to ride today anyway, so whatever, dude. They're carbon fiber, shit ton of freaking little spacers, lots of adjustability. So that will definitely take up the rest of the space that's in here. Worst comes to worst, I gotta chop a little bit off of there, push this further down, whatever. I wouldn't be mad about it. Might even still do that just so that this is like down here slightly further. Dude, that wouldn't be a bad idea actually. Yeah, that way this is sitting a little further down here, and so it's just gonna make it look good. Dude, I like it. I like brainstorming with you guys. So that's what we're gonna do. These spacers are on, and as you can see, there's, I mean, oh, it's slid over, but whatever. So there's gonna be about 1/4 inch gap or so on both sides. So we're gonna take those off, put these on, and see what they look like. See if they get any tighter. If not, then dude, these are perfectly fine. They'll work perfectly fine. So but don't take that advice from me. That's just what I do because it's me and my bike, and I'm riding it. So if anybody should be worried, it should be me. So anyways, let's swap these out, show you guys what that looks like, and see if you guys end up going with the same setup, if it's worth picking these up when you order your Fast Flex bars or not. So let me do that real quick. So also quick detour because curiosity got the best of me. I am going to be using the longer bolts kit for the tall configuration like they say there, because I am adding that spacer in the bottom. So you got to use these ones. And in this TI kit that you get, titanium kit that you get from them, will include both. So you'll even have some extra sick freaking bolts. Don't know what you're using for, but hey, it's always nice to have some extra titanium bolts lying around because you never know. Anyways, freaking, like I was saying, curiosity got the best of me. So right before I show you guys the sleeves and what they look like, the comparison between the two, I wanted to weigh these and see what the difference between these stainless steel ones that we were going to put on weigh compared to the titanium ones. So we got 37.4 for those two, because these things literally feel like plastic. It's kind of cool. 21 for those. And then here's the second longest ones, 20.9. And then we've got 11.8. Back to the stainless, 13.4 and 8.2. So there you have it for all you weight weenies. That's what I call some of my mountain bike buddies, because they're always concerned about grams and weight. But anyways, yeah, wanted to see what that weighed. Made a whole video on replacing all kinds of bolts and titanium on this thing. So if you guys want to check that out, go ahead and do so. Do the same thing. Let you guys know what all the weights are and how much weight savings you're saving just by replacing some bolts and making it look damn good. So here, show you guys a little quickie for those of you that haven't watched it. There you go. All right, back to the sleeve thing. All right, so we got the Fast Flex BMW sleeves on here, and I'm not digging it. So I set it up two different ways, just so you guys could see. This is the gap between this left side, so I got the smaller one on here, and then on this side I got the bigger one on that side. Obviously this is thin enough to where once you get the clamp on there, it'll probably conform a lot better and maybe take shape depending on how you put these on there. They might even cut into this, but I don't know. I'm not going to try it since the other ones fit so darn well. I'm going to use those instead. And again, this could also be just because we are not using the stock clamp, because when you look at this, I don't know if they're shaped any different. So yeah, but that's what they recommended for the Sur Ron. And I know there's one other guy out there that I saw that did use those for his after looking it up, and so it worked for him. They must work. So if you're gonna use this setup, buy those. If you're gonna go with the Warp 9, then I just recommend using these guys like I'm gonna. Alright guys, so we've got our spacers that we just ordered. It is the next day. As you can see, I got a whole slew of them. Didn't end up using 3 of the ones that I had on there. And now, yeah, we got these. As you can see, hopefully you can see the gap. Let me see if I can unscrew this really quick. I was getting ready to give this a little pound, but this is about how much gap you'll want to have from the top of the head tube to the next spacer, washer, whatever you want to call them, that are going to go down in there. I forget what the number is. Well, I almost want to say it's like 3 mils or something like that, 3 millimeters, but don't quote me on that. I just know that this is about how much gap I had on there based on some of the videos I had watched of people setting these star nuts using the Park tool, and it's super easy to do with this sucker. As you saw just now, you screw this all the way in, and then I just kind of had this in here so it wouldn't interfere, and then you're just going to literally pound this down until this reaches all the way to the bottom here. I could probably even do it right now real quick for you guys. Uh-oh. Went in a little crooked, but that's alright. We could just kind of adjust it a little bit. Hey, no thing. Boom. Now we are even. So that's that. And then you just unscrew this off. And now that we got that done, oh yeah, I was using, remember, if you guys are trying to determine how much you're going to want to cut, I would definitely recommend covering up your forks where your dust seals are, because you definitely don't want to get a bunch of these little metal shavings on the top of those and have them come up and down, get stuck in the dust seal, and then now you're scratching up your forks and then possibly compromise your seal. So I'm gonna end up taking this off carefully and then hitting it with some compressed air, get everything out of there. Gonna mount the bars, and yeah, we'll see what they look after I'm done here. Alrighty, bars are on. Everything's on there kind of prematurely. Kind of feeling everything out. Kinda not digging me of swapping these two, so I might have to revert back to how it was. Luckily this one I think splits in two, so I don't have to take everything off, because this wire is not long enough for you to kind of just slide this out all the way. And then speaking of that, these bars are wider than the stock ones, so if you're gonna want the stock length, make sure you measure up, cut them up. I didn't go ahead and cut them up just because I'm gonna need that extra space, and hopefully I can still even run see those clamps, they're gonna have to get clamped onto the bar itself. So like I said, I'm gonna need the space, and hopefully I can still run that phone mount. Otherwise I'm gonna have to come up with something else. We'll run something like right here ish, I don't know, cut through the pad, make it go down here, let it be all slick on the pad, cut into the pad. I don't know, there's definitely a lot of options. So what I'm gonna do now that you guys see all this is I'm gonna throw on my grips, at least on this side, and it's probably, oh, it's even got the label on the right side. Okay, so it's not that one. Left side. So we're gonna throw these grips on, and you'll see I'm gonna have a little bit of a gap there, so see where I gotta move things around in order for those hand guards to sit on here properly. So I'm gonna head and go do that, and then I'll be right back and show you guys. Well, you know what, I'll throw these grips on, both of them, throttle side, and then the left side, and those hand guards, just to make this go a little bit quicker. All right. Boom! All sorts of done skis, boys. What do you guys think? So I had to change a few things around. That's how I ended up with that layup, and that's how I ended up with that layup. The only thing I need to do now is put my phone mount, which will just end up going right here, just like it used to be, where I was used to having it, and that's about it. But since we ran into issues with not having as much bar to place things with, ended up putting my light down here, which, I mean, works out. Nice clean setup. Digging the look, digging how it somewhat felt when I jumped on it really quick, just to feel it out and see where I wanted to place everything. Just a minute ago, I ended up fixing that front fender. If you guys watched my last video, these ended up freaking snapping. Ended up just throwing it in there. Has plenty of material on the other side, so it should hold. Cut some more off, about that a little bit more than a 1/4 inch or so that I said they hit. You can see right here what they hit, the fins for the BAC, smacked right there and freaking took it up off cleanly. So that's fixed, hopefully. Did order a new one, like I said. So this will just kind of be the experimental one. We'll see now if this thing hits. We'll go hit some little jumps just to see where the suspension's at with the 72. We'll go hit some trails and see how it does. See what the difference is in the bars, the height, the length of where it got moved to. Yeah, this should be a fun ride. Definitely digging how it's turning out so far. Hopefully you guys are too. This might not be your taste, but I mean, hopefully you guys can appreciate a decently built Sur Ron. So yeah, let's go out and freaking ride this thing. There's plenty of daylight out, so let's go give this thing a go. Alright boys, so we're back at our stomping grounds where I try to wheelie this whole street. So we're gonna see if I can do it this time. Going out to test these bars, seeing if they're any good, seeing if we need to switch up the elastometer. So far so bueno, they feel comfy. I'll tell you what, these grips feel super comfy. Oh, that bump screwed me up. Oh well, we're gonna try it. We're gonna hit up some trails, see if I can feel a difference with these suckers. See if I gotta loosen up just the nut on these guys. And by these guys I mean the handlebars. So yeah, we'll see. Maybe we go down to the yellows, or like I was saying earlier in the video, maybe we go down to the blues and see what it do. Trying out a new camera. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. Hopefully I don't freaking drop this camera with the way I have it mounted. But yeah, we'll see you guys up there. We're on the way. Alright, so let's give this little trail a ride, huh? So far I haven't hit anything hard enough to feel the bars. I mean, I did the same thing I did last time, which was just hop up a curb, and kind of felt them there a little bit. See, like there I could barely feel it. These red ones are pretty nar when it comes to stiffness, so gotta really play with them to find what you like. Another little thing that we're gonna be trying out too is put that front fender back on. And now that it's on, I trimmed it a little more. So we're gonna hit a few little things and see if after hitting those little things we end up bottoming it out and seeing if it's gonna hit again. So far, oh, you guys can't see it at the angle of the camera down, but probably got like 2 inches or so of travel left before the fork does come all the way up. So yeah, we'll see how it fares. Still haven't adjusted the suspension just because I've been so caught up on wanting to get all these mods that I bought for this thing, and then just throwing everything on and getting the bike a little closer to what I envisioned it to being. So yeah, once we get that, start dialing it in. I mean, it's not bad, it doesn't ride horrible, so nor is it bottoming it out everywhere now that we got that 72 volt battery on there. So what the heck. Oh yeah, and also you guys may have noticed from earlier from that wheelie video, I did take off the selfie stick of that other camera that I'm trying out, just because as soon as I got on, I waited to start recording a little bit. The thing was bobbling like a mofo, so decided to take it off. Kind of cruising slow up here, getting the feel for it, trying to see where I could feel it, if I can even feel it at all. And every now and then I can feel it flexing, but definitely nowhere near as much as the blue ones that I have on the Banshee. That's making that camera tilt so bad. Look at that. See? If it's making it tilt this much, you guys can only imagine how bad it was with the freaking selfie stick sticking out another foot up there. See what that suspension say. Nope, haven't gone any further. Let's see. Oh, that took away another inch. So yeah, it looks like it's gonna do pretty good. It looks like the worst thing we're gonna be able to do is just bottom out the suspension today. Which, whatever. Bottom it out, you bottom it out. Figure out real soon. where the limits are of those suckers, huh? Tell you what though, these grips are a lot more comfortable. I think I just heard it smack. Did it smack? Or was it just me? Can you guys see that? I don't think it smacked, but it sure sounded like it did. And nothing's loose on it, so. And I definitely felt the handlebars soak that up. Hell yeah. And I'll show you guys where that ring's at when we get up there, because I'm not gonna hit anything gnarlier until we get to the top than what we just did right there. Damn that. So now that I know that, I kind of know how big of a hit she can take. And I mean, we weren't going fast, so those are always the worst. It's when you're not going fast and you just smack down like that, because it's really going to take up a lot of your suspension travel. But I'll show you guys. Ooh, nice rock came up and smacked that big old skid plate that we got. Very, very happy with that skid plate. Can't tell you how many times it's probably saved the bottom of the frame. Ooh, poor little camera. Zoom. But we reached the top. Handlebars feel good. They could be softer, but the softer you get it, the more flex you're gonna feel in the bars, and that to some is a little discomforting, so I'm kind of used to it. But yeah, you guys want to hit a few little bumps for jumps up here? These ones that I was telling you guys about last time. Okay, let's go hit these guys right there. That little bump right there, that other little bump right there. What the? You guys see that? My watch thought I had crashed, so it's trying to call SOS. That thing's silly, dude. It doesn't know what we do. Here's another little peek. But we're trying to get to these little bumps that I was telling you guys about. So let's hit these real quick, and I'll show you guys. Oh, I did say I was going to show you guys the ring, huh? Oh well, let's see what it looks like after these right here. Oh, that one sounded like it hit there too. Alright, let's take a quick look. Stop recording with this one. And there you go. Got about there. So we got a little bit left. Tell you what though, if the clamps would have been down to where they were before, this ring would have been right down to the bottom of this. Just about. So cool. So far so good. As you guys saw, may have noticed I did end up taking off the hand guards. Wasn't really digging the look. I like this look a lot better. So those I'm gonna end up just throwing on as a need be case, rather than just throwing them on there all the time, or maybe when it's even cold, you know. But all right, see you guys on the way down. Maybe some wheelies. What do you think?